I remember the first time I saw Gaius like it was yesterday, even though it's been almost 6 years now. It was a grey, drizzly Tuesday in late October, the kind of day where the city smells like wet pavement and roasted chestnuts from the street carts. I was 25, hiding in the back corner of the public library's philosophy section, curled up in an armchair that had seen better decades. My boots were propped on a stack of books I had no intention of reading. I was supposed to be job hunting, but instead I was scrolling through photos of beaches in Bali on my cracked phone screen, dreaming of escape after a breakup that left me feeling like a deflated balloon. That's when the Tower of Books walked in. Well, not the books themselves, Gaius. Tall, lanky, glasses fogged from the rain, dark hair sticking up like he just rolled out of bed. He was carrying at least 12 hardcovers, stacked so high I couldn't see his face. He muttered to himself as he shuffled toward the return cart, something about overdue fines and a theology paper. He reached for the top shelf to slide one book back, stood on his tiptoes, and the whole pile wobbled like a Jenga tower in a windstorm. One book, a thick, ancient-looking thing with gold lettering, slipped. I lunged and caught it just before it hit the floor. Careful, I said, grinning as I handed it back. You almost started a literary earthquake. He blinked behind his foggy glasses. Pushed them up with one finger. His cheeks went pink. Oh, thank you. I'm Gaius. Alice, I said, still holding the book. You new here? He nodded so fast I thought his head might fall off. First week. I just moved from a town so small it doesn't even have a stoplight. Or a grocery store. Or much of anything. I laughed. I couldn't help it. He was like a baby deer in a room full of wolves, and something about his wide eyes and nervous smile made me want to keep him safe. That was the start of everything. We were polar opposites in every way you could imagine. I grew up in the city, bouncing between foster homes, learning early how to read people, how to hustle, how to survive on charm and quick feet. By 25, I'd backpacked solo through Thailand, bartended in a beach bar in Barcelona, danced until sunrise in New Orleans with a street musician who taught me how to roll cigarettes with one hand. I wore ripped jeans, red lipstick, and a leather jacket covered in pins from every place I'd been. I said what I thought, laughed loud, and lived like tomorrow might not come. Gaius? He was 26, quiet as a church mouse, and had never left his tiny hometown until the day he moved to the city for a library assistant job. He read theology books for fun. He apologized when he bumped into doors. He thought a wild night meant staying up past 10 to finish a crossword puzzle. He'd never been on a plane, never seen the ocean, never even kissed anyone. He blushed at the word damn. But he was kind. And funny, in a soft, dry way. And when he looked at me, it was like I was the first real thing he'd ever seen. We started meeting every Tuesday after that. I'd show up with coffee, black for me, extra cream and sugar for him, and would sit in the same corner. I'd tease him about his cardigans and sensible shoes. He'd ask me real questions, the kind nobody ever asked. What does it feel like to be on a plane when it takes off? Have you ever seen the Northern Lights? Do people in cities really not know their neighbors? I told him stories. He listened like I was reading from a holy book. One night, after the library closed, we walked out together into the cool, damp air. The rain had stopped, and the city glowed under the streetlights. I was in the middle of telling him about the time I got lost in a souk in Marrakesh and ended up drinking mint tea with a Berber family who didn't speak a word of English. He stopped walking in the middle of the sidewalk. I've never even been on a date, he said, voice barely above a whisper. I turned. Never. He shook his head. I was always busy. School. Church. My mom was sick for a long time. I took care of her. Then she passed. Then I just kept going. Like I forgot how to start. I looked at him. Really looked. He wasn't pathetic. He was just paused. Like someone hit pause on his life and forgot to press play again. I took his hand. Come on. Where? My place. I make a mean grilled cheese. He hesitated. I don't want to impose. Gaius. Shut up and come eat. My apartment was a 4th-floor walk-up with creaky floors, mismatched furniture, and a fire escape that overlooked a neon-lit alley. I made grilled cheese with extra cheddar and tomato soup from a can. We sat on my sagging couch and watched an old black-and-white movie. He sat stiff, hands in his lap, Like he was waiting for permission to breathe. I scooted closer. He smelled like library books and soap. You ever think about it? I asked. Think about what? The future. Adventure. Love. He swallowed. All the time. But I never thought it would look like this. Like what? You. I smiled. Leaned in. Kissed his cheek. He froze, then smiled, small, shy, real. We didn't rush anything. We took our time. We went on walks through the park, kicking through piles of autumn leaves. Shared hot chocolate on cold nights. Laughed when he spilled cocoa down his sweater and tried to hide the stain. I took him to his first street fair. He stared at the cotton candy like it was spun gold. He took me to a hidden garden behind an old church where the trees made a green tunnel like a secret passageway. I taught him how to hail a cab. He taught me how to pray, not the church kind, but the quiet kind, where you just talk to the universe and hope it's listening. He started opening up. Told me about his mom, how she used to read him adventure stories every night until her voice gave out. How he wanted to work with kids, help them find books that made them feel less alone. I told him about my dreams, traveling again someday, maybe writing a book, building a home that felt safe and warm, and mine months passed. We became us. I'd drag him to outdoor concerts in the park. He'd sip one lemonade all night, smiling as I danced barefoot in the grass. He'd cook for me simple pasta with sauce from a jar, but he'd light candles and set the table with napkins folded into little swans. We'd stay up late talking about everything and nothing. He learned to laugh louder. I learned to listen better. One night, we took the subway to Coney Island just because I said the ocean at night was magic. He'd never seen the sea. We walked the boardwalk in the dark, the waves crashing like thunder. I bought us hot dogs from a cart. He ate his with a fork. I laughed so hard I cried. Alice, he said, staring at the water, I used to think the world was small. Just my town. My books. My mom's garden. But you make it feel huge. I took his hand. It is huge. And we're just getting started. Spring came. The city bloomed, cherry blossoms in the park, tulips in window boxes. One evening, we sat on the fire escape outside my apartment. The sky was pink and gold. He held a mug of chamomile tea like it was a treasure. Alice, he said, voice shaking, I don't have a ring. I can't afford one yet. But I have this. He gestured at the city lights, the sky, us. I have my heart. My time. My future. And I want to give it all to you. Will you marry me? I didn't wait for a ring. I said yes. We got married in a courthouse 3 months later. Just us, 2 friends as witnesses, and a judge who smiled like she'd seen 1,000 love stories but still believed in them. I wore a red dress that swished when I walked. He wore his favorite blue sweater, the one with the tiny hole in the sleeve. We ate pizza afterward at a hole-in-the-wall place with checkered tablecloths. Drank sparkling cider from plastic cups. Danced in the parking lot to music from a passing car. Our friends took photos on their phones. We laughed until our sides hurt. People said we were too different. That it wouldn't last. But we didn't listen. We built our life one day at a time. 2 months after the wedding, I felt different. Tired all the time. Emotional. Hungry for pickles and ice cream at the same time. I bought a pregnancy test on my lunch break. Waited in the drugstore bathroom, heart pounding. 2 pink lines. I called Gaius. Come home. Now. He burst through the door 20 minutes later, tie crooked, eyes wild. Alice, what's wrong? I handed him the test. He stared. Looked at me. Stared again. Alice, are we? I nodded, tears already falling. He dropped to his knees, wrapped his arms around my waist, and pressed his face to my stomach. A baby, he whispered. Our baby. We cried. We laughed. We called our friends. We danced in the kitchen like fools, spinning until we were dizzy. The pregnancy wasn't easy. I was sick every morning for months. My feet swelled like balloons. I cried over TV commercials about lost dogs. But Gaius was my hero. He read every baby book twice. Made me ginger tea at 3 a.m. Rubbed my back when I couldn't sleep. He turned our tiny second bedroom into a nursery, painted it soft yellow because it feels like sunshine. He built a crib with his own hands, sanding it smooth, humming old lullabies his mom used to sing. Labor was long. 20 hours. I was exhausted, scared, loud. But Gaius never left my side. He held my hand so tight I thought he'd break it. Counted with me. Told me I was strong, brave, amazing. When our daughter finally came, a tiny, red-faced, perfect girl with a tuft of dark hair and my nose, he cut the cord with shaking hands and tears streaming down his face. We named her Lily, after my grandmother. After the flowers he brought me on our first real date, simple daisies from a street vendor, wrapped in newspaper. Now Lily is 2. She has my wild curls and Gaius's gentle brown eyes. She runs everywhere. Climbs everything. Says oh when she drops her toys. She calls pigeons city chickens and thinks every dog is named Maximum. She loves books, sits in Gaius's lap while he reads, pointing at pictures, demanding again. She dances with me in the kitchen to whatever song is on the radio, spinning until she falls down laughing. We're still opposites. I still love loud music and planning trips we can't afford yet. Gaius still reads before bed and apologizes to furniture when he bumps into it. I want to paint the walls bright colors. He wants everything calm and neutral. We argue about laundry piles and whose turn it is to take out the trash. But we always make up. Always choose each other. Some nights, after Lily's asleep, we sit on the couch. He reads some thick book about ancient history. I scroll through photos of places we'll visit someday. Sometimes we don't talk. We just sit, close, breathing the same air. The city hums outside. Inside, it's quiet. Safe. Hours last week, I found him in the nursery, rocking Lily. She was asleep on his chest, tiny hand curled in his shirt. He looked up when I leaned in the doorway. Remember when I didn't know how to do anything? He whispered. I smiled. You still can't fold a fitted sheet. He laughed softly. But I know how to love you. And her. That's enough. I slipped into the rocking chair with them. He wrapped an arm around me. Lily sighed in her sleep, her little chest rising and falling. Outside, the city kept moving, cars, lights, people rushing to nowhere. Inside, we stayed still, just us, the girl who'd seen the world. The boy who'd waited his whole life to start. And the little girl who taught us both how to fly. This is our story. Simple. Real. Full of love, and it's only just beginning.